Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Tribe Forex Power Hour. I am Marcello, a pro Forex trader. I've been doing this for a long time now. And today is February 27th, 2014. Now, what I'm going to do today is something that I've done for many years now, which is an analysis of the markets, an evaluation of our strategies that are currently running. And so let's go ahead and get started here. So first, we're going to cover how it works. So how does it work? Well, after 5 p.m. Eastern time, at some time before we're going to go into our trading, I will do a bias analysis. So I will look at the market and determine where price is most likely to go. And we will make our trading decisions based upon that. Now, there are two ways to execute here. We can either execute with a set and forget it trade. That's number one. And number two, we can also day trade in the direction of our bias using pods for bigger profits. Now, what's pod? A pod is a point of decision. That's a place in the market where the market participants or the market is most likely to turn around. It's got to make a decision. It's either going to continue to move forward, breakout, for instance, or it's going to retrace. It's going to reverse and move in the opposite direction. So it's got to make a decision at that point, and it's very easy to see what that decision is when you know what those points of decision are. Having said that, let's go ahead and take a look at the market and talk about where the market is and where we expect it to go from here. So, guys, I mean, I have been on it this week, to be honest with you. I expected for price to come to basically, I had a buy call on the euro dollar, and I said to watch for either the 50% fib area for us to get a bounce off, or the 50% or the 50 EMA. We had a perfect bounce right off the 50 EMA and a really huge move back to the upside. Beautiful, beautiful opportunity there as price had a low of 36.42 and closed at 37.08. Just beautiful opportunity there in the market for that. So basically coming close to the 38.2 fib area and really moving back up. What does that say to us? Well, based off of what we're seeing here, to be honest with you, we're more likely than not going to see some form of a buy. We're going to look to see price begin to move back up, okay? So let's talk about that. We're going to look for a buy here. I'm looking for a bounce off of my 50% fib area, so I'm looking for a bounce off of 137. Let's see where we are. It's actually 136. Around 136.82. So about 20 pips away. I'm going to look for price to come down here and then move forward and really hit the peak right there. Let me take a look at another area of resistance here on the high side. I'm pretty sure that we should see some more resistance. So let's look at that. Yeah, actually, we're not ready for that yet. Not quite yet. Actually, let me condense the graph just a bit more. Okay. And so there's nothing there for us to look at, but there are 3 points that we have to consider here. And you can see them right here. 1, 2, 3. There is a area of resistance there. It's short term, though. We don't have a ton to go off of. Short-term resistance area. Actually, what I'll do is connect it here to the upside, to that highest swing high. Yeah, there it goes. So this is what I'm going to be looking for as well. I'm going to keep an eye on this one. I'm going to color it yellow just so it's a little bit different than what we've been looking at. And I'm going to make it yellow, just so that we can see it more clearly. Clearly an area of resistance here for us. Okay, so that is actually the point that I'm most interested in, just because we had 2 points that really connected there. We've got 3 points, so that is an area of resistance. So guys, look for it. 61.8 is the next place to look for a move up here. I'm also going to look for, it's only 35 pips away. More likely than not, we're going to attack this 3750 area, which is where our trend line is. And so look for that to occur. And we don't have a ton to look for here on the euro dollar, but I definitely have to have a buy bias there. So I've got a buy bias on the euro dollar for the time being. Let's see if this other chart says anything else, anything different. Yep, exactly. I actually had that covered. I'm going to be looking there right around 37.50 for some price movement. That's going to be our point of decision, guys. All right, so the pound dollar, same thing, guys. We had a buy trade, and you can see this very steep trend line has actually held very well. Surprise, surprise. So I had a buy on this one as well, and you can see that it really has held quite nicely here on the pound dollar. So we've got that once again. We've got, we've got to have a buy here, and we've got to look for price to bounce off of 166.50-ish and then move up. Okay, so I'm looking for it to move up at least to 167.23 from where we are. So I'm looking for price to come down right around 167, 166.50, 166.60, and then move up to 167.20, 167.30, which is our area of resistance. Buy trade on the pound dollar. Okay, so we did reach our, this is interesting on the New Zealand, we actually did touch our trend line. We got right back to our trend line. So we did call a buy on the New Zealand. Man, what a massive move. I should have actually taken this one out. If I had taken all those trades I had put on for the last few days, man, we would have done extremely well. I took some of them, not all of them. I should have taken more. But look at this New Zealand. It comes right up to our zero fib area. Okay, so we've gotten right back up there. And it's also tapped our trend line. So what does that mean for us? Honestly, we're bouncing right off a trend line to the top, 0% fib. We could see a retracement. We could see the trend line. We could see price come back up to this trend line, test it at 83.90, and come right back inside of this pennant that we have here on the New Zealand dollar. So look out for that. That's going to be a sell on the New Zealand. We're going to see price move up, and then we're going to look for a sell on the New Zealand because it still looks like it wants to consolidate here. Okay, so saying that, I had a buy on the Aussie dollar as well, and I said to watch for a bounce off this trend line at the bottom, guys, and that's exactly what happened. At 8,900, we got a bounce. Price went to 89.03 and moved up. Now, I expected it to bounce and actually move in a positive territory, so this was actually a very good day trade for anybody who wanted to take that day trade. It was perfect, very, very good line up there. Euro, okay, so the euro yen, I don't think I called the euro yen yesterday. If you had taken a sell on this, you would have done extremely well. It did get down to lows here at 139.00 basically. Just tested that area of support there. I'm going to put it on our charts actually. 139.00 really came down there, tested it, and came back up. So we've got a buy on the euro yen. Dollar yen is staying really testing this trend line here. Okay, this lower trend line here. We've tested it repeatedly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We tested it here. I'm going to look for a buy here on the dollar yen. And so the pound yen's actually approaching its highs again. So this is going to be interesting because we're very close to the pound yen highs. Price is currently at 170.42, and our trend line high is at 171.14. That's not a big range for the pound yen. So we could see price come up and break out, or we could see price really just bounce off that 171 area and come right back down. It's not a big range for this pound yen. So we're going to look for price to come back up to 171.14 and really test it there and potentially come down. So for the time being, nice reversal candle right off the 50 EMA. It did close low. I'm actually going to call a sell here on this pound yen. I'm going to believe that price is probably going to bounce off that 171 and really come down. These are pretty clear signals, actually, guys. It's not one of those days that we don't have clear signals. All right, so I talked about oil, and I'm still talking about oil, basically because we have this area of support and resistance that's really holding well. And what I told you was the same thing. Basically, which was that look for the test of 102.57, guys, and that's exactly what happened. 102.50 was the point that you want to sell off at, and that's precisely what happened. We got up to 102.66, and then price dropped off and got down to 101.40. You could have made money there. There's a ton of money to be made there, and so we're still in this consolidation on oil. So look for price to probably, I'm looking for a sell here on oil. I'm looking for a bounce off the 100.76, which is the 800 EMA there, and a sell off of, so that would be a buy off of that and a sell off. So we're playing consolidation here on oil as well. The dollar Swiss. Okay, so the dollar Swiss, we were at the top of this channel, and what I was expecting for was a sell-off. We got that sell-off right off that 89.17, which was our area of resistance. Man, we've been on it. As far as the biases are concerned, we really hammered the biases and did well there. Guys, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to get down to 88.67, bounce back up to that 89.17 point. And that's what we're looking for on the dollar Swiss. So I'm going to call a buy on the dollar Swiss as well. So to recap, we have a buy bias on the euro dollar. We've got a buy bias on the pound dollar. We've got a sell, I think, on the New Zealand dollar. Aussie dollar, I'm going to look for a buy. Price to come down, test that trend line buy there. We didn't talk about the dollar CAD. I think there's a sell on the dollar CAD. Looking at it from where we are right here, because we do kind of have a trend line above resistance line here. We may test that again, but right now it's saying sell. Euro yen, we definitely have looks like it wants to a buy here again as well. Dollar yen, buy. Pound yen, I think it's going to be a sell actually on the pound yen, which is contrary to what I've said about the rest of them. So that's interesting. I think that we're playing a range here on the pound yen, and I think that price can go up, test these upper areas, and come back down. So let's actually place an area of support and resistance, at 171.75. Okay, oil, same thing. We're playing the range. Look for a sell there, and dollar Swiss, we're going to be looking for a buy. We're going to look for price to come down. We're actually playing a range here, guys, because it is in consolidation. So whichever one it gets to first, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a buy here on dollar Swiss. Okay, and that pretty much sums up our trades, our biases. Basically, our biases yesterday did extremely well. If you want to know what I called and why I called it and how well it did, just simply go to the recording from yesterday, February 26, 2014, and you will see just how on we were about those calls. And this is the way to making money, is to get it right. You don't have to get it right all the time, but it's good to get it right. So with that, guys, I sign off. We will see you next week, Monday, for another edition of the Tribe Forex Power Hour. All the best.